Ready? Okay. All right. We're going to call this meeting to order. If everyone would stand for the invocation and pledge of allegiance, please. Heavenly Father, we are thankful for this beautiful day that you have given us, for its blessings, its opportunities, and its challenges. May we appreciate and use each day to its fullest. I pray we will strive to do our best for our city and the citizens we serve. As we gather here today for our meeting, let us be ever mindful of our duty and obligation and respect one another in the varying positions we may each embrace. Help us to remain sincere and humble, and remember to reach out to help others who are in need. While we are public servants, may we remain mindful that first we serve you. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Carly, if you can call the roll, please.
Reidinger?
Here.
Thomas?
Here.
Thompson? Here. Reed?
Here.
Penny?
Here. All right. Well, good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. We're going to start off with an agenda meeting. This is where we're going to go over the agenda that we'll be discussing at the February 11th regular commission setting. And then we'll be immediately followed by an administrative workshop. The first item we've got on the agenda is the consent agenda, and that will be the approval of the minutes from January, which are always on file at the city clerk's office. Our next item under new business will be a resolution number 2025-02. And this is a resolution of the City of South Pasadena, Florida, appointing 2 members to the Firefighters Pension Board of Trustees. And I know we're going to be discussing that in our workshop a little later. The last item will be Resolution 2025-03. And this is a resolution of the City Commission of the City of South Pasadena, Florida, urging the Florida State Legislature to enact legislation to provide a public records exemption for municipal clerks and employees who perform municipal elections, work, or have any part in code enforcement functions of a city, and providing for an effective date. Anyone have any questions on these items at the moment?
Well, yeah, well, I mean, will we talk about that during?
Yeah, you can, yep.
Yep. That's all gonna be on there.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Then at this point, we will adjourn. Let's traverse downstairs. Workshop to order. Barbara, you right?
Yes.
Can you call the roll, please?
Reidinger?
Here.
Thomas?
Here.
Thompson? Here. Reed?
Here.
Penny?
Here. Okay. What do we got? Items for today. The first one will be the Commissioner John Maroney's 29th Annual Law Enforcement and First Responder Appreciation Dinner. If I remember correctly, we have budgeted for a contribution towards this.
So, yeah, over the years, we've changed a little bit. We used to get a table for 10, but then we were having a tough time because of, they've changed the scheduling. It used to be on a weekday. During the day it was a luncheon. They've made it now on a weekend at dinner, so a lot of people are not able to go. So we're kind of asking you all if you want to continue and just send a donation, or if you want to buy tickets, or you all can decide. You can do single tickets.
When is it going to be this year?
March
It's
1st.
March 1st. It's reception at 6, dinner at 7.
It's a Saturday night.
What's the difference in the cost?
So if
It's
you
listed.
do, it's exactly the same. Single tickets are $150, or a table for 10 is $1,500. So it's
So it's the same thing.
Yeah, unless, and then it goes up from there. You can do the table for 10, and then a program listing is 2,500.
The luncheon was so much easier for a lot of people.
Mhm.
Saturday night.
Saturday's not bad, though.
So
I
you
know in
all-
the past, I've seen blurbs after the fact, and it seems to be very well attended.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
They were like
It
one of the
is.
few that aren't in attendance, what I've seen in the
Yeah.
past.
So, what do you guys think? I mean,
What did we do last year?
we
Last
gave,
year we just sent a contribution because
What was it?
we sent a
Contribution.
contribution. We didn't do tickets or a table.
Oh, okay.
Last year we just sent a contribution.
Well, unless anybody wants to go.
So, because you could always just do single tickets if like any one of you wants to go.
I'm not available that night, but if you guys wanna go, I mean, we can always, we used to bring firefighters with us, stuff like that, and so it's up to you if you wanna,
The difficulty for us is I wasn't getting off-duty interest if we were taking on-duty people on the service to go here. Yeah, but I would have hoped it would have been more. I could do a quick poll and see who's.
is there a smaller table? So it's table for 10 or nothing,
Or single tickets.
or
And-
single ticket?
Yeah, you can buy, it's $150 for single tickets, so if there's a couple.
And then you
people
just sit wherever
And
they
then,
put
yeah,
you.
I think they just put together the people that are single ticket groups. So that's kind of my question
It
to
would
you
be
all.
tough to get 10
Do you want to go?
from past experience.
Like I said, without doing an official,
Right.
when would we have to decide? I could do a quick.
And then
poll.
they have to go on overtime, right? Is that their, or that's their, no, it would be their own time, if they wanted to
Well,
go.
if they call them after off-duty, then that would ever be overtime, right?
If we mandate
made
them to
them
go,
go.
but if we asked if anyone.
If they volunteer to
would like
go.
Participate, I don't know, probably tell me if I'm wrong, but.
I mean, yeah, we've said, okay, the table has this many seats. Is there anybody that would like to go off duty? A lot of people were saying no, so then we were sending on duty crews. We take it out of service and send them to fill the table. So,
I mean, anybody here interested in going? You'd go? Well, it's 2 tickets.
Yeah, we would definitely want to fill it if we spend that kind of money.
That's for,
Oh, you mean with the spouses?
yeah, would we just pay for them?
Just like we're doing.
I don't know, have we done that before? I think we did spouses when we had,
Well, we
so
never- we
I
never-
think we did spouses when we had a table for 10.
as
And we
long
had
as
to
there
fill
was
the
space.
seats.
Yeah, so you'd have basically 10 and you all would decide, and as long as there was space, the spouses could go to fill that. If there were more that wanted to go from the city, then the spouses didn't.
Right.
It was completely dependent on how many people wanted to go. When you had a table for 10, you just filled it with whoever would go. It would be up to you all if you were doing single tickets. I'm sorry?
Nothing, I was kidding, Tom.
Pick some people off the street. Nice.
So,
Yeah. Are you gonna go, Gail?
No.
You? So it'd be
It's
you guys
many
be
rubber
spouses?
chicken dinners.
You gonna go?
This is not one of them.
If they go, we would certainly represent the fire department, so.
Try to, yeah, see how many people we get.
No, we
So
have
you'll
to,
still-
I mean, we're not gonna send our.
So there'd be 4 of us and then 6 of them.
Yeah,
4 of us and 6 of you.
so I guess we'll stay with the table for 10, it sounds like, even if we can't fill it. So, it would say, well, I mean, we were donating the same amount of money anyway, with nobody
Yeah.
going,
Right.
so,
Might as well go.
yeah.
I'd have to go back and make sure that we budgeted that full amount.
I know I thought we discussed it during the budget.
Do you know if we budgeted the full amount for a table? I think you all had decided that you weren't. Yeah,
You think we decided on a lower amount?
yeah, because I think the consensus last time was that
Well, if we
was
decided
not
on a
the
lower amount, then we
interest
just
to
buy the
keep-
single tickets, I guess.
So,
But now, if you buy the single tickets, does that mean that they gotta pay for their own spouses to go?
that would
Because
be
that's
up
part of
to
the
you all.
policy?
That would be really up to you.
I know when we had a table, if we had to fill it,
Mhm.
we filled it, but now we don't have a table, talking individual tickets.
Well, it would be worse to have a table with nobody sitting at it,
Yeah.
but for like 4 people. I say we go with the tickets, and if you, unless you can get a bunch of people that wanna go.
If Commissioner Reed and his spouse went, and Commissioner Thompson and her spouse went, then
You would just need 6.
myself, DC, our spouses, that would be 8. I could
Well,
see-
yeah, then if that, yeah.
It's just
Then
if
we
didn't
could do a
budget for it.
table.
Well, I guess we need to know how much you budgeted for it. Or how much we budgeted for it. Was it 1,000 or?
I think it was 750, so it'd be the other 750 we would need
So
to
we'd have to
track down.
do a budget amendment, or could you pull that from something else?
If we did 6 seats, Carly, that would be what, 900? Am I doing the math right?
Mhm.
That's an option too.
Just do the 8 people, you mean?
6.
Oh, 6.
We don't have to do, I was just trying to, if there were 10 seats, but we could do individual tickets, or we could, do the 3 of us, whatever.
It's completely up to you guys.
Well, I think if we've got 8 committed,
We
or
don't.
close to being.
I was gonna commit somebody, but,
He was committing DC without asking him.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
which we could do. We're salaried employees, so.
But I mean, if you have close to 8 or 6 or 8, we might as well get a table.
I agree.
I mean, they don't wanna pay $150 for their spouse. No, but I know, but I mean, really, shouldn't we be represented
I don't disagree.
as a city?
Yeah.
I think we should.
I mean,
So we all agree you're gonna do a table?
Agreed.
table for 10.
Table for 10. Okay.
Alright.
That was easy.
Make sure you send out the information on to us all.
Okay.
And
If
just
I can
as
get out of
an
what I'm going to,
aside,
I'll let you know.
it's a good year to recognize first responders. I mean, they had all around the place. They worked hard for these storms, and I think we should participate. Okay?
Okay.
Whatever that's worth.
So we have consensus.
Okay.
All right. Our next item is the firefighters pension board appointment. I
Yes.
see we have 2 people now.
So there's 2 vacancies. You all had decided before to pursue reappointing
Fed.
Rick O'Connor because he had expressed interest in being reappointed. So we posted the one other vacancy because the other person whose term ended did not want to be reappointed. So we solicited applications and we received 1, which is what was sent to you. So I guess our question to you all is, do you want to move forward with appointing the 1 application we got? We can always re-advertise if you would like to have more to choose from. It's really up to you guys, but we did receive one application for 1 vacancy. So,
We have Rick, right? He's,
right, but there's 2 vacancies technically.
and then this guy, Edgar Jackson.
That's the other one we got, yeah.
Okay, and is there anything wrong with him?
It's completely up to you. It's what you would be looking for to serve. So this is the city's representative on the board. So it's really just what are you all looking for in your representative on behalf of the city on the Firefighters Pension Board?
It looks good to me.
Tom
Yeah.
McFadden is coming back or
Tom McFadden said that he was not interested in being reappointed.
not going to be?
So
Okay.
he's the vacancy that's being created because
Okay.
Rick O'Connor and Tom McFadden's.
I guess I was thrown off because in the packet for next week it had.
This guy looks
McFadden
great.
listed.
It was
Well,
a fire-
because so in the draft resolution, it explains the circumstance creating the vacancy, and it's that Tom McFadden's
I just saw his
term-
name.
Yeah, his
Okay.
term is up, and he does not wish to be reappointed. Rick's term is up also, but he does want to be reappointed, and you all said to go ahead and plan to.
And this is the
reappoint.
only other
That
applicant
is
we
the
got.
only application we got for the vacancy.
I think he's qualified.
Yeah, I'm just bringing it to you
I
all.
say do it.
So, because especially when we only get 1, we want to know, do you all want to try to get
Well,
more?
and it's
or are
even
you
hard
okay
to
with
get
what you got?
one usually, and especially somebody who's got
Yeah, so-
fire experience. He's good for me.
Okay,
Good to me.
so then the draft resolution currently has a blank in it right now. So we'll go ahead and put his name in that blank for you for next Tuesday, and we'll
Okay.
let him know as well.
Okay,
So,
good, good.
All right. You guys
You're
are
next.
you guys are just flying through these today.
I know, right? Drive-through meeting.
So, all right, so now we've got the high water vehicle purchase request. I guess this is what we discussed at the last workshop,
Yes,
a little
sir.
bit.
And a couple other items too, if you don't mind. First, if I could, back to the table at the Maroni dinner, if you guys are okay with it, I think ideally, I would love to have 6 off-duty firefighters participate, because it is, the banquet for them. So I would certainly go back today and try to drum up that support. If we get it, great. If not, then we'll look at ways
yeah.
to fill the seats. The second thing, this came up, and Carly and I spoke about this. Had a call from someone who works as a freelance reporter for the,
Discovery Channel.
I'm sorry?
Was it Discovery?
Discovery Channel, thank you. They saw the footage on another channel of us where we were in the National Guard inflatable boat and went to that fire. They've asked permission to use the original footage of that call on an episode they're doing on Discovery Channel for Hurricanes Helene and Milton. They're going to do a special on the 2 storms back to back. We thought it'd be good to have that out there for South Pasadena, but wanted to talk to the commission about, having that on a program that would be shown
Appropriate.
worldwide.
Yeah, really
Do you need
showcase.
releases for the firefighters?
I don't know.
I don't think so, but we will check.
I would
Off their
think-
faces.
If the faces are showing,
Pixelate 'em.
we might.
That's right.
Okay.
Like they're crossing the border.
Definitely voice, like we would know who they were because of some of the audio. I would think if someone looked close enough, they may, in the back of the helmet sometimes have names and
Their
stuff.
names
So,
are, yeah.
okay, so anyone who was on that call, we would potentially,
Yeah, we'll check.
okay.
Yeah, I would need to see it more, like what the video is. But if it's no like up close of their face, it's
No, they're in a boat in the middle of the night,
okay.
so,
With helmets on.
but
Yeah.
Racing
we'd
to a
asked
fire.
that question before with footage from like the block party, and I'd have to go back and look, and it was something about in the performance of their job that we were allowed to, but we'll check.
And it's funny too, Kristen, because it's been all over social media, right? So it's out there already.
They gave it to us.
Yeah.
So,
And now-
they're the ones that filmed it. So,
But let me know. I told her I would call her back today. I think she's in London, so I'll let her know that we're okay with it.
Yeah,
that we
we
just
just
need
gotta-
to check on.
yeah, releases from the employees and
Okay.
whatnot, yep. Okay.
And then I would put her in contact with administration for the original, or the close to the original
Yeah.
footage. Okay, perfect. Thanks. All right, now the high water vehicle. So I was able to get 3 quotes. Was hoping for apples to apples, maybe different variety of apples. We have a company called Boyce out of Utah, Memphis Equipment, ironically out of Memphis, Tennessee, and then Midwest Military Vehicles out of Missouri. Boyce doesn't have LMTV. They specialize in the M series, which is very similar. 900 series, little bit of an older vehicle. Their vehicles were anywhere from early 80s to early 90s. Memphis has equipment that was late 90s to early 2000s. Midwest vehicles are early 2000s. Both Memphis and Midwest are the LMTV that we discussed. The 3 vehicles we got quotes for are designed, or we would use them for very similar things. Get to high water, get people out, carry the boat if necessary, the inflatable. We did try to get, and most of them will do like the vehicle and then with an a la carte package. So we tried to, what I did was ask for quotes for the, a very similar package. All 3 were able to give me a quote on AC. And the reason for that is the humidity and driving with the windshield and stuff like that. Midwest was the only one that had entry steps as a package to get in the vehicle because of the height.
Into the bed?
No, into the vehicle
Or the actual
itself.
vehicle, okay.
Yeah. They all have a high water option. In other words, yeah, Memphis had the least intricate option where they simply raised the air intake up and the exhaust up. Midwest did so much as to remove fuel tanks, batteries, everything. So you'll see quite a higher price for there. Midwest included paint where the other two had an upcharge, and then Midwest included seats in the back where the others, the bench seats, were a slight upcharge. And then I also had them include delivery options because we would need to get it here. Boyce for the older, the 80s vehicle, the 900 series, total price for those options came in at $51,400. Memphis equipment for the LMTV, late 90s, early 2000s, with those options discussed, $49,800. And then Midwest for the early 2000s vehicle that also seems to do the most work on the vehicle as a normal package, $63,475. I think in the last meeting I told you guys I thought we could get it around 50 grand. The one that would come in under that with those items would be Memphis equipment for $49,800.
Is that the one that had the steps on it to get into the vehicle?
Man, yeah.
So actually, the third one is the most inclusive of all the things that you were looking for?
They do the most customization. Their list of options was very extensive. They also gave an actual quote. The other two kind of gave me an a la carte list and said, here, you pick, and this is what it costs. So I'm not
So
worried.
that quote included the a la carte stuff?
That I
that-
told them to
that-
try to match it to
Okay,
the others,
okay.
yes, to try to make them as close as possible.
Are these on a particular vehicle that they have on site now, or is this something they can come up with?
They come up with, yeah. This is, Memphis gave me what it would look like. You know, if we,
There's the step. Right there.
yeah. Okay, so it's already on it, or on this.
Unless it's, if it's not, they're simple, they're easy to add there. I mean, I do that. the
Do they
cable
also
steps.
include,
Can I see it a
Yeah.
little closer?
do they
No,
also
that's
include
not.
the original mileage that was on the vehicle, or a Hobbs meter for how much time the motor's been run in the vehicle, or anything like it? Do they give you any
Yeah, but you're
knowledge
not
of
getting in the cab,
previously
you're
about
getting in the back.
what they're working on?
Oh, but them,
For
yeah.
them,
the quote,
you know,
yes,
like
sir.
they need to have something.
Because they
Yeah.
don't know what they're gonna be working on in reality, do they?
Yeah, 60 days parts warranty.
20 feet.
Yeah. So it is, I mean, it is, you know, we're talking of, you know, vehicles at the minimum of 20 years old, right? So, but it's not an everyday use vehicle. It's a, you know, if we were to have a similar situation again, we would have a means to traverse up to about 3 foot of water. And then our plans would be
Or snorkel,
to launch the boat from the back.
What do you think about how tough would it be to get parts? You know, I know we have the guy that fixes our trucks, but I mean, if something needed to be repaired, do you think that would be like a, you know?
They're able to get parts from other used vehicles of the same, and there was one we looked at that was also from Boyce that wasn't the 900 series, excuse me, and he actually kind of talked me out of it because this one particular series was very difficult to find parts, and that's something we're thinking of is maintaining it. So apparently these are it's not new parts, but it's used parts you can.
So you could, like, your mechanical guy could order parts from them and get it fixed?
My understanding is yes.
Yeah, okay.
Has the engine already been rebuilt? Or
Not
anything?
rebuilt. They
Not
just
rebuilt.
ensure that it's in running condition.
All right, and what about like your emergency light package, decals, things like that?
So Midwest, we could order a package. Memphis does not do that. They recommend taking delivery and then upfitting it at a local vendor.
The Midwest could be able to set it all up for you, all to go, we wouldn't have to send it anywhere else,
Yeah, let me see if.
anything else would. That's the one for 63.
Yeah.
Correct. Now, they also have some pretty intricate packages, Midwest. like a A-frame steps for the back, so the public would, instead of climbing a ladder, could in theory walk up the back. It was not inexpensive. I can't remember the exact quote, but it was, you know, we could easily get
Probably need that, I would think. Unless it's something,
Yeah.
well, I guess if anything were to catch, it would catch like by that tank that's there, the gas tank or whatever it is.
And that's what, like I said, Memphis, and this is not included on there also, but I'm sorry, this is. So the Memphis high water package where they raised the exhaust and intake was $13.50. The Midwest high water package where they raise gas tanks, batteries, exhaust, and air intake was $38.50.
Well, that's a catch underneath that when you're going through that water, you
Is
don't
this
know what you're
1,000
gonna
or
run into.
I'm sorry?
Is this thousands or $100? Or 3,800 or 38,000?
I'm sorry, 3,850, yeah.
The steps in the back, are they fold up and then fold down, or do they stay down?
They're metal.
Probably permanent.
Welded, permanent, yeah.
I could
You
put
can-
cable breakaways on there for you, easy enough.
I'm sorry?
I could add cable breakaway steps to that, like you put on the back of our crane trucks that go to the field, so if
Okay.
it's stuck on something, cable breaks off instead of ripping the body.
Where would you keep it?
We would move the Sheriff Humvee behind the reserve ladder truck, and then we would put this behind the reserve rescue. Basically.
You've got room for it.
It'll be inside.
Oh, yeah.
You have to, you couldn't leave it outside.
What it does, and we've done this at the old station, and we have about 8 inches to a foot more space at the new station lengthwise. Because of where the weights were in the old station and the reserve rescue, we did have at one point the Humvee backed into the reserve ladder truck, and we literally had 2 inches between them. So we're hoping to make that more like a foot for, you know, just lack of accidents, so the more space you have. But we do feel this would fit behind the reserve rescue. It would not fit behind the ladder truck.
What could it be used for otherwise, besides, is it just gonna sit there until we?
Hay rides. Could have hay rides.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, would it be,
Parades.
I mean, I
Parades,
guess it's
stick 'em
something we
in
could
the
bring
back.
to our block parties, things like that, but otherwise, it's not really getting used for anything.
So, it is a high water vehicle. If you know, we look at sea level rise and we make, you know, the predictions in the future, you know, if we had another rain event like we did last summer, you know, combined with a high tide, obviously hurricanes, I would say any weather type events. I do think because we would, you know, like to use it whenever possible, I think a light package would be something we should look into, right, for safety and response.
Oh, yeah, I think we'd have to have the emergency lights on top.
It's just a tool, you're not gonna be using.
Just like a
much
fire
for
truck.
what you need.
Exactly, it's one of those things you don't need, but you need.
Well, just like your jaws of life, how often do you use them? But when you have, you gotta have it, you know, same thing.
But I mean, you look at the whole city's A level. When we get heavy rains, there are certain areas that really get high. So I mean, you might even need, somebody could get stuck in those areas. I mean, the one by the station, the one over here, the main street out here floods. I mean, you know,
I'm assuming it would be put on a schedule to be used, just to drive it around to keep it.
There would have to be a maintenance schedule, right? It would
Yeah.
have to be run, and then it would have to be driven around.
Keep the batteries up.
I'll come by and take it for a spin.
With the new
You're gonna
inflatable
volunteer to
that
drive
was donated, we should, you know, use this to take it to training.
Yeah.
that was pretty good.
I think that was
Yeah, I
true.
do too. What the hell?
I think it's all Pepperoni dinner.
You know, from that seminar.
And all kidding aside, though, I think it's a good idea. I mean, we don't know what's gonna happen. Nobody expected this to happen.
Well, that's the 900 series.
Well, Chief, remember when we went to that emergency management session at the sheriff's office in August? And the people that were running it were the meteorologist type people, and they very explicitly said, based on their research, that probably in the not too distant future, not 20 years, but coming, you're going to see more storms. You're going to see fewer storms, but closer together and more severe. And they were adamant about that. And, you know, just that stuck with me, especially with this last bunch of hurricanes that we had. And
There's no-
where we're located, and I mean, it's gotta be. We've gotta think about things like that.
So which
God
one are
forbid we have
you?
another flood
So
that we
what's
don't
the
have.
process if we decide to go forward with this? Administrative, finance-wise, whatever. So,
Give him the okay, he's gonna buy it,
That's it, huh? Okay.
I mean, normally we
Do we need to vote on, I guess we need to vote on it every meeting.
At least no, I think just a consensus is what we said, right?
Consensus?
Yeah, we'll have to come back for money, but
And I guess the direction I would be looking for is, you know, we do have a lowest, we do have a more customizable. The direction you guys want me to go, is it go with the lowest bid, or look at the most,
what are you
we think is the
recommending?
most, what am I recommending?
That's what I want, yeah.
And the most able to get parts. Like you said, there was one that
Yeah, what's your
would
recommendation?
be
I
easy.
think that
if-
would eliminate item one.
Yeah.
Or
me
the
too.
'80s model, I would agree.
So, and I personally like the fact that the Midwest has just got the full package. And they raise everything off the ground.
Is there
And they said
But it's up to,
Well, so
whatever
does
you
the
think.
Memphis
You've been
flood.
talking to them.
Not the batteries in the fuel
Oh, it's not
tanks.
raising it, okay.
And what's delivery on it, did they say?
6 months.
6 months?
Would there be I guess, an approval with an not to exceed price, would that be the way to go?
Approval with what?
Probably.
Not to exceed price.
Oh, not to exceed.
So I think, what do you think a light package costs?
Let me see. Do you have a second?
I'll look
20
it up.
grand?
I don't want to.
I don't know. I mean, I'm just trying to, everything's expensive, it seems like nowadays.
Around 3,500. Depends on the number of emergency
Lights
lights
are
you
on.
want per line.
Can I have some kind of floodlight?
Private things, yeah.
Probably extinguish this one in front of me.
Four corner strobes with 4-color strobe, wet, red, blue, amber, white, $2,400. 6 downward facing LED floodlights, $2,350. Strobe controller and PA siren system, $1,250. So add those together. Yes.
Yeah. And of course, we would try to get it to match the colors of our truck,
Yes.
the gray, I guess.
I would, yes, sir, would try. I believe this guy didn't say. I'll reach back out to him. Memphis said give him the paint code, they'll match it. I would assume Midwest could do something similar. Paint code
I think we should go with the
Sure.
Memphis and give them a budget of up to 80 grand,
Yeah.
not to exceed.
with
Was that a
Midwest.
factory paint code
Yeah,
on the
Midwest.
rescue?
Yes, it's we use Ford's paint code
Okay, so yeah, it'll be in the door jam.
of my vehicle.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, the number was.
Up to,
80?
not to exceed 80,000. That should give you plenty of money. Probably should come out.
Sounds like a challenge.
I was gonna say,
Let's find a way to get it.
how long have you known me? So yeah, 63 plus the
It's kind of like you
lights.
say, well, we got 80 to spend, how much do you want? And they're gonna say, we want 80.
No,
No, we
what
don't
we'll
have
do, and I think
Yeah.
our advantage here is I have the list.
Yeah.
So it's me simply telling them what off this a la carte list we want on our vehicle, and then,
And that 63,000 price had everything. right?
except the,
Except the
sirens.
lights.
It had it, but it had it raising everything up and
And-
all that.
Yes, but not the, someone asked about the rear steps.
Oh, that's right, the rear steps, so.
And that was a doozy if I remember. That was one. Originally, he sent me the complete list, so I gotta go back in the email just a little bit. Yeah, because the first quote I got was, Jim, are you sitting down?
Yeah.
160.
Oh,
And that's like, he just threw everything they had. But some of these things we don't need. We don't need a highway gear upgrade, you know. We don't need LED light kit. Their cab entry steps were $875. Where's that? Okay, dual step platform, 16,500.
What?
Yeah,
What does it look like?
like a big A-frame stairs.
Your local
So like
fabricators.
like an up and down kind of stair system?
You could have people from both sides climbing up, basically like a.
Where do you keep that when you're not?
It's hooked into the back.
Can you work something out with the place? They must have something like that.
What's that?
At your company.
Oh, yeah, we can put something
Well,
on the
that-
back.
We even thought about, you know, carrying a ladder in the bed.
Yeah, 16,000 for steps is crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're proud of it.
It sounds pretty crazy.
I mean,
But
you're
it's-
gonna have firefighters on hand to assist people getting in and out of it
Yeah.
anyway.
Well, yeah, and if we could hook up some kind of a fastening system for, if they use a ladder, because you got water, things are moving, even with somebody holding it on each side. So we just want to be secure.
Backup alarm's $325, I think, for safety, you know.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, I.
Well, you got 80,
Yeah.
so,
I'm 110 on the
Yeah.
back of the
okay.
You know, like bed liners and stuff like that, we don't need to do, so.
So we're all in agreement on that, or do you want to add more?
No, I think,
Think it's good?
I think he can do it for that.
Oh, I can,
Definitely.
He can do it.
okay.
Does that include paint? Was that part of the deal? That's
I
what
thought
so,
mid,
too.
I thought Midwest included paint. I will double check, cause I don't see a, option for paint, and I'm pretty sure it was, you had certain colors to choose from, so we could either, if it's, 0 for a gray that's close, we could do that, or we could see about getting our gray, but I think for this type of vehicle, if it was close and it came with the.
It'd probably be good, yeah. I mean, the picture almost looks
Probably it's a
similar.
navy vehicle,
Yeah.
but if it was gray, it was probably
Yeah.
navy, yeah.
Probably.
Thanks, guys.
Happy
Why don't
shopping.
you say we go ahead and have an amendment? Budget amendment.
Do they have to be trained to drive it?
Yes.
So it's like a, is it like a, with a stick?
I doubt it,
No?
you know, if it's a big.
Lining up to drive the thing, you know.
Probably got a double clutch.
Oh, yeah, they'll love it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come down here and flood the street on purpose to try to.
And to be honest, those would be days we probably should, you know, take
come
it out
down
and
and
about.
practice, we'll
Yeah.
call you.
Yeah. You know, just to, one, get a better view of what we're in store for each summer, and then two, to get the vehicle out there. So I really appreciate it. I think in what we realized, right, we pre-ordered assets for Helene, and they are out there. The trouble is, everyone pre-orders everyone, and you don't always get what you think you're gonna get. So us having one, knowing it runs before hurricane season, having our people trained on it, I think is gonna be a long-term plus. You know, the idea this would be on a much longer, replacement cycle than a front, first out apparatus, so. Hopefully like a one and done type thing, or, you know. All right, thank you, guys.
Anybody else? Anything good for the group?
I got a couple.
Riley?
I got a couple. One, did you all have any questions? I know there's the resolution on the agenda for the exemptions for city clerk and staff that work for municipal elections. That was on the agenda at the request of the Florida League of Cities and the Florida Association of City Clerks. So currently, there are exemptions for public records disclosure related to certain employees or officials in government. firefighters, police officers, judges, that type of thing. If you're in a position where they think that someone may want to know where you live for a nefarious reason, your personal information is exempt from disclosure. So right now, if someone were to ask the city for the personal information for our employees, I would have to turn over much of that. But I would not turn over our firefighters, for example. Right now, those exemptions do not include city clerk staff or anyone working on elections. There is a proposal to the state to add city clerk staff and election workers to that list of exemptions, which is what that resolution is. So the Florida League of Cities asked us to adopt a resolution in support of that proposal. So that's what that resolution is. It would basically mean if anybody asked for, home addresses for people, that we would say that they were exempt.
Is this
I
to
read through it.
modify Senate Bill 268, which is the one that exempts elected officials?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
There's a lot of safety
Yeah.
concerns being brought up right now.
kidding.
So, yeah. it's just-
Let me ask Tom a question, because he may know the answer to this.
Okay.
What about the financial reporting for municipal workers, those of us that filled out the entire financial form with every nickel
Form
and
6.
dime that we own?
Yeah.
And then the rest of then all of a sudden they put an injunction on that? What's the status?
Status quo. I haven't heard anything different as far as
So, I mean, would we have to do that again next
No.
time?
As well.
And if the information is out there, does it stay out there?
Yes.
Great. That's
So-
just friggin' great.
Anybody, that's my understanding.
I mean, I did it early because I did it early because I wanted to get it done. So as soon as I got my financial records for the end of the year, I just took all of that and I dumped it in there.
Yeah.
And it's just not fair.
That's my
You know,
understanding.
first of all, it was stupid to begin with.
Right.
And then to have done it and have that exposure and then have other people not have to have done it.
Now, the
they need to get
injunction
their
could
act
go
together.
away. I mean, it could go back to the Form 6. Nobody knows what the outcome's gonna be. I kind of doubt it, but
Is anybody talking about it? Or are they working on it? Or is it just,
Anything. I follow it.
what was that?
I follow all the new bills and things coming out. There's nothing about it at all.
and
I
right,
think on the
like we've
heels
been
of all
advised.
I mean, I
to
hope
just go
that,
back to
I'd like to
normal
get rid
hours.
of it, I agree. But it's just too bad that some of us are exposed, so to speak.
So,
Yeah,
that's my understanding.
great. And it's about my family knowing, not about anybody else. I don't care if everybody
You
knows
wanted my
except my
nephew.
nephews. I don't want them to put poison in my cocoa or anything. So, anywho.
Okay.
Yeah.
That it? Oh, we got that. Okay, let's do that.
So it has been brought up that there are several beach communities that have either already sent letters up to Washington DC or are currently drafting letters up to Washington DC. I'm not sure if y'all have seen this. Treasure Island and St. Pete Beach sent letters up to President Trump asking that he step in and sort of streamline some of the red tape that beach communities are dealing with through FEMA in order to get storm support. So I printed out copies if you haven't seen these.
I thought he wanted to get rid of FEMA, that's what I heard.
So if you want to take the pass, one is the St. Pete Beach letter, the other is the Treasure Island letter. They're similar, they're not exactly the same, but they're very similar. So these have already been sent. Several of the other beach communities, apologies for this not being
I've read
out
both
with the
over
packet. I
last
didn't have all
week
the
or so.
information by then. The Big C, which is the organization of all the beach communities together, they have been discussing putting out a joint letter from all the beach communities. There is a call this afternoon that they have invited the mayor and I to participate on, as they're going to continue talking about doing a letter from the Big C. We are not a part of the Big C because we're not technically a beach community, but they have invited us to join onto the call. So my question to you all is do you have thoughts on these? Is this something you'd like to pursue? If it is, would you prefer that we pursue sending an individual letter just from the city with, for example, Mayor Penny's signature, or would you prefer that we just try to sign on to whatever the Big C decides to do if they allow us to sign on, because we're not technically in the Big C? So just wanting to gauge where you all are at, or is it you don't have to do anything? You can let it lie, and
I think the big C is gonna try to come up with a single letter that sign,
Yeah.
that all the mayors assign, and to see if we can get, some movement out of Washington to help out with just the FEMA issues. I mean, with the permitting and the requirements, and, you know, if some of that was just removed or lessened, it might help expedite getting those out there.
Anything that can be done.
Yeah, and individual letters, I had looked at these, and they, like I said, they were quite similar. I had thought about coming up with one, but more curtailed for us, and our citizens. But then again, like you said, if you really look at them, they're very similar. And I know how I am when I get form letters. It's like I go through a couple and I'm like, they're all the same. And then I think about it. So I don't know what kind of impact they have. Whereas a letter signed by a lot of people is usually a little better, I think, in my
I
opinion.
mean, like from all the mayors
Yes.
that were affected.
Right.
Strength in numbers.
Right.
I agree. If Big
But
C
you
was
could
that-
follow it up with a single letter.
Yeah.
You know, say, yeah, we sent this letter to you as a group and just wanted to reiterate our feelings for our city, kind of thing like that.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good idea if you guys are okay with it. We'll, when Carla and I attend this meeting this afternoon, we can get back to you on it if you want us to, which, give you some information.
Yeah, no,
But you know what it's gonna be, it's just they're gonna come up with a letter, they're gonna want us all to sign it. So, then we can move forward, see if we can get it to help. I mean, another thing that would help, I mean, is getting hold of our representatives, like Rick Scott and people like that. I mean, Rubio's up there now, and Paulina Luna. I mean, they got the Trumps. They got Trump's ear. They can talk to him. You know,
It would be nice
he
if
did
they
all
would
his
do
help
their
up
job.
in North Carolina and everything. I mean, we're his state. Should be to get the same kind of deal. So.
Anything that'll help, I'm for it.
So, do you all decide we're gonna pursue being on the big C's letter if they allow us? Is that what I?
Is this? Okay. Okie doke. What else you got?
That was it?
Is it? Nobody else? We good?
Oh, wait.
Uh-oh.
Oh, that close to
Spoke too soon.
Put her
I
on
spoke
the- can't.
too
Put her on the
We
spot.
try, but we can't.
I will be brief. I met
With FEMA, came and met with me on Thursday last week. She can't tell me that she's pleased. She had no issues with the way things are being done. And in fact, I got a kind of, I think, backhanded comment. She asked how I was getting people to let me in their houses to do the pre-permit inspections. And I said, I tell them that's our process and that's what we do. And she said, a lot of the people who are from Florida say that they can't do that. And everybody from up north goes, this is the process and this is what we're doing. So I think it was kind of she was very impressed that we were actually doing those and that was our process and we were able
And
to
it was
gather
working.
the information that we needed in order to make sure that everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing and that we're gathering that information. So I'm expecting something from them shortly, kind of like what they sent last time, letting us know if there's anything we need to work on or
You could absolutely turn down by anybody?
no.
Everybody wants their permit.
They all want their permit.
Yeah, they want their
This is the
permit.
process and it works well. I mean, we go in, no, it's like 10 minutes. We kind of go through and just if I see something that's like, there are times when I'll go in and I'll see the paper wiring that was all extremely low and I'm like, that all has to be replaced. And they're like, oh, we were just going to replace the receptacle. No, that got wet, right?
Yeah.
So little things like that. Sometimes they've decided to do extension cord wire in the wall. They just splice the two ends of the extension cord and extend their. So we're finding things like that, which I think a lot of people are grateful for. That they didn't have any clue that it was there, and now it's.
Now it's been exposed.
And they don't know that it's a problem, right? So there are things like that I think they're very grateful that it's happening. And like I said, it's like a 10-minute inspection. It's a kind of walk through, see what's going on. And we've seen some things, like there was one house that we assumed got lots of water in it. And when we went, they had put up the flood panels prior to the storm. So they got no water from that, but the back of the house, the roof blew off, and their kitchen got destroyed from above. But so they got barely any water everywhere else in the house, but the
kitchen-
entire kitchen's gone.
So it looked fine from the street.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, we thought we just had a water level issue, and there was no water damage on the floor. But it was, so I think things like that are helpful, that we go and we actually see it.
Right.
And, so I think it's going pretty well.
How many people are still waiting on permits, or how many permits? You got those numbers?
So since January 1st, we've received 193 applications. 90 permits have been issued since January 1st. So,
There's still quite a few that,
yeah, we have about a dozen that are waiting for fees to be paid, so they're ready, but they just need to pay for their fees. And 92 are in review. So, I mean, we're moving along. We've had 630 applications since October 1st.
I noticed Treasure Island, I think it was, put a list of all the permits on their Facebook board. I thought we were gonna do that.
We had,
It's gonna be updated.
we're gonna update it.
Okay.
That's
oh,
all.
on their webpage?
On their Facebook group, they
Oh.
have
We have
a
it
list
up
of
there.
how many permits have been applied for, how many have been issued.
I've got a copy.
Yeah,
of
we're
it.
gonna be
It's
doing that
emails.
monthly, so with January just ending, we're working on the next update
Okay.
right now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And what about letters? Most everybody got their
I
letters?
have 27, or 26 that I still need to send, but I don't have the data for. So, and when some of the owners had been calling in and going, I haven't gotten my letter, everybody got their letter. So once we get that call, we're taking the data and we're able to send them. But there are 26 that haven't contacted us
Have
at
you
all.
run into quite a few, or just a little bit, of people that went ahead and put their drywall back up without their permits and stuff? And-
So we've had, of the ones that we've done the pre-permit inspection, I think we've had 2, which isn't too bad. The manufactured home park I'm concerned about. But we haven't done much in there. We're getting lots of appraisals.
There's saws and things running over there all the time, so, yeah.
So lots of people are submitting appraisals for, to up their value.
How about refunds for,
We haven't gotten many. I think we're like 5 or 6 refunds? Something like that.
People complain about it, right?
I know I've signed a couple checks, that was it.
Yeah, it hasn't been many. And we've had people apply for it, and they actually weren't charged the permit fee. So, because after December,
I'm gonna get paid.
so, I mean, there are other fees that are involved, and actually, Kristen and I are gonna be discussing the surcharges later on to see if we need to do something a little differently with that, but for the state. So we're working through that. And I've got 2 people who came in from a company called Workforce Group that were sent by the state, and they're answering the phones. So we're,
Training them.
Are they helpful?
yeah, we've got them answering phones, and that's huge to take that burden off, because it was hard to get stuff done with the phones ringing constantly and people coming in constantly. So Renee and Faith are handling the front counter, and they're doing great with that. And these 2 are answering the phones, and they're doing pretty good. People are happy to get somebody to answer the phone. Trying to get them to just kind of give general answers and then pass it off to somebody is
If you don't know.
correct. If you don't know,
I think
don't
the
speak.
I think the atmosphere is better. I mean, it's, people over at Causeway Village, they think we've done a great job now.
Oh, good.
There was that one gentleman in 107 that was left off the electrician's list. He had only minimal damage, the skirting on his thing, and he was very upset. But I called Sean, and the manager over there. He said they accidentally left him off.
But that's the contractor.
I know, but it made it look like it was us, and he was so happy to know that, that something was done by the city, they let them think it's us, but, yeah.
Okay,
Well, good.
all right, I guess that's it then. All right,
Thanks.
okay, everyone, thank you. We're adjourned. Everyone have a great day.
Likewise.